Hey, what's going on, folks? It's your boy Naptown, and as promised, I'm back with some predictions for Friday night fights. Now, these are gonna be really quick predictions, and I want to start off with a disclaimer saying I couldn't find enough tape uh, for Victor Cayo to to really have a clear idea of what's going to happen Friday. Found plenty of fights with, well, not even that much for Lamont Peterson either. And I really try and stay away from fights on YouTube anymore because, I don't know, sometimes the quality is really shitty and it's hard to tell, what's really going on. Anyway, that's all unimportant right now. So let's just get into it. First of all, I'm going to go into Despaigne versus Miranda. Now, I would think Despaigne would be the pretty big favorite here, but he did just lose to Ismail Silak. So, the first time he's really stepped up to a higher level of competition, Despaigne failed. And let's remember that Silak handled him pretty easily. So, And Miranda, on the other hand, has been in there with numerous top-level opponents. Of course, he loses to them, but he's been in there with numerous top-level guys. He's been in there with Butte, Abraham, Ward, just to name a few. He's also been in there with Kelly Pavlik. So he's got some experience, and he's got a punch. With that, though, I think Despaigne has some potential to raise his own status. He just ran into Silak at the wrong time, but don't get me wrong, I was glad for the fight. Thought it was a good fight to be made and a good fight to watch. But maybe he ran into Silak a little too early, and maybe this is the better road for him to take on some guys with experience like Miranda, but who also don't really have the skills to put it together and really topple him. And him being Despaigne. I can see Jordanis Despaigne getting overly brave, overly excited, maybe going for the kill when he doesn't really have Miranda hurt, and I could see Miranda turning the tables on him pretty quickly and knocking him out. That being said, I think Despaigne is tough enough to get past one or two big shots from Miranda. And while I would say cruise to UD, I do think there will be spots where Despaigne is going to want to fight. And in those spots, I'm thinking he'll handle himself well and go about it more intelligently than perhaps he has in the past. He's not a bad fighter, so I think it's a pretty easy bet to say Despaigne's going to win. It's how he's going to win is what I'm wondering. And I'm not counting out Miranda winning by KO. I just don't think Miranda could win a decision. I don't think this is going to go the distance, though it could. I think Despaigne TKOs him or KOs him about 5 or 6, maybe a little bit longer rounds. All right, so that's that. Like I said, they're going to be quick. And there's not a whole lot of tape for Despaigne either, not that I've seen. So Victor Cayo and Lamont Peterson. This is a good fight. I really like this fight. I really like Friday night fights, how their lineups have been so far this year. Of course, there's been one or two shows where I've been like, or you heard my last one, like, what the fuck was the point? But overall, with Friday night fights, I'm pretty damn happy with it. So let's get into it. It's going to be a competitive fight, number one. I'm going to say that first and foremost. Either one of these guys can win. I'm not giving one much more of a chance than the other, although I am picking a winner. They both have good skill within their style. Peterson could fight a little taller when he's had shorter people against him, like Bradley. I think he could have fought a little taller in that fight and made it more competitive, but it is what it is. It's just not how he fights. He is a good boxer, though. We saw that When Ortiz backed off of Peterson and started allowing Peterson back in the fight, Peterson took the opportunity, and while I don't really think he won the fight or deserved a draw, he did end up getting a draw from the judges against Ortiz. You know, Mayweather's next opponent. Anyway, Cayo, if he hadn't ran into Maidana when he did, we might be talking about him a bit more, because the guy's decent. The guy's decent, and he packs a punch too. He's not scared to fight, and he has a fighter's mentality. In this particular instance, I think the styles work against him in that way. I think Peterson is going to have the ability to compete inside but keep it out. And by that I mean, I think Cayo's best chances are to get in on Peterson and make him fight there, which Peterson will gladly do, I'm afraid. He will gladly stay in there and fight a little bit, but I think he's going to back out and try and keep it at distance. Like I said, if we're taking this, you know, from what I'm taking, I can't find enough tape on these guys to really have a clear idea, but Cayo was doing pretty good against Maidana until the knockout occurred. Now that was a nice body shot by Maidana, but Cayo made the mistake of going in when he shouldn't have went in. I think in this against Peterson, he will want to go in. Peterson doesn't quite pack a punch per se. He doesn't really have that power there, and you know, maybe at 135 he could have had some power. You know, maybe dusted a few guys, but I just don't see him being able to early on. I don't see him being able, you know, in the first 6 rounds, being able to really hurt Cayo. Maybe he'll make Cayo respect his punches. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping Peterson has enough pop in those punches to make Cayo think twice about coming in, because if Peterson can't make Cayo respect his power, then Cayo is going to be willing to take a few to get in on the inside where he can handle Peterson quite well. Now, I don't think Cayo's a complete inside fighter, but I do think his mid-range to inside game is better than Peterson's. For this, I would say it's almost a 50-50 fight. I would say either Cayo by knockout or Peterson by decision. This is a fight at 140, right? Ooh, I hope so, because I just talked all that shit about having power, maybe at 135. I think the fight's at 140. Regardless, to me, this is a possible skill versus will scenario, and to me, Lamont Peterson has the bigger pool of skills to draw from, because he can compete on the inside. He won't beat Cayo on the inside, but he can compete and maybe get away from getting destroyed on the inside. But I think Peterson's game is going to be on the outside into box. I think he's got the speed to do it. I think he's got the know-how to do it and the skills to do it. Cayo, at any point in time, I'm going to be looking for Cayo to bring the pressure to Peterson and really try and topple him. I just don't think that's going to happen. It could. Like I said, to me it's the 50-50, but I'm picking the guy who I think has more boxing skill, and that's Peterson. So, 2 quick predicts. Naptownborn. Deuces.